We were talking about, I think it's really important that I read those passages about the people who are worse than the thugs, or actually join forces with the thugs, and the thieves, or bandits, and the innovators. These were the imposters, claiming divine inspiration, leading the people out into the wilderness, there to show them the signs of their coming redemption. Who said that? Josephus. I read it 3 passages from you last time. Josephus. Why? So, I mean, from Josephus' mouth, that means these people existed. There were people like that who were doing that kind of thing. And that would be the period, particularly in the 40s, 50s, and 60s before the fall of the temple. He's more insistent on that kind of condemnation as we get closer to the time of the uprising against Rome. And he gets extremely emotional about it. And it's not just 2 such references to it. There's about 3 or 4 in both of his works. I didn't bring my antiquities. Next time I'll bring it. I didn't think we needed it, but I will read you his the interpolated section about Jesus in the antiquities next time if I bring it. Anyone have an antiquities here? I'll read it now if you do, but if you don't, I'll bring it next time. There is a section about Jesus, not in the Jewish War. You see, the Jewish War is really weird. It talks about problems in Samaria, the brutality of Pontius Pilate. There, he crucifies a Samaritan messianic leader who was trying to show the signs. Someone that in Samaritan history thereafter is called the Taheb. No one knows the actual derivation for that, but it's sort of considered to be the restorer. And he's crucified by Pontius Pilate. That's actually in the war. But there's nothing about Jesus in the war. There's something about some problems in Rome between some people called Mundus and Paulina, very odd episode, around the time that you would expect the Jesus episode under Pontius Pilate. Now don't forget, this is written in the 70s, that's very early. So if there was something important, he's either covering it over or he should have told us. And then he says about this Mundus and Paulina that there was a fellow, I don't forget the whole episode, but there was a fellow who wanted to seduce a Roman matron in Rome. Matrons being apparently more interested in religious things as they have been often throughout history than the men. And he, there are a lot of cults in Rome, and he impersonated the god Anubis, an Egyptian god, and went into one of those shrines in Rome honoring this particular god, or son of God, or whatever, and then, encouraged or convinced the lady to come into the shrine and seduced her. Some very odd stuff there. And then the Roman emperor of the time, who it seems to be was either, I think it was Claudius or it was Tiberius, one of the 2, expelled all the Jews from Rome. Also because 2 other Jews were kind of like apostle-type figures, raising money on some pretext to send back to the Holy Land, and were cheating people of their funds or something. So for these 2 causes, I think it was Claudius banished the Jews from Rome, supposedly. That would be in the early 40s. He mentions that, but it must be early because it's under Pontius Pilate, so it must be in the 30s. Anyway, my memory, I don't have the book in front of me, so my memory escapes me. And those are very odd episodes, and they have a lot of themes that are sort of motifs that we find in the early Christian material. So one wonders, why did he put that in? Was there something else under there that he was implying, or what was going on? The Jews didn't stay expelled from Rome anyway. Now, in Suetonius, the Roman historian of the 12 Caesars, it says that the Jews were expelled from Rome for making propaganda on behalf of one Chrestus. Suetonius is writing about 100 AD. And I think, again, that is in the period of either Tiberius or Claudius. The Jews were expelled, I think Claudius, my memory, it's in my books. Just have to look up Chrestus and you'll find the actual note in my James book. You know, I've got very good indexes in those books. People like Ron and others helped me with that, and we all worked very hard on those indexes. 30 or 40 pages of indexes are not what you usually find in books, so you can actually find anything you want if you look things up carefully in the index in those books. So Chrestus, obviously the point is here something to do with Christ. But you see, even in 100 AD, writers like Suetonius did not distinguish between Jews and Christians. You know, no one knew the difference at that point. And I think you could translate that by saying they were expelled from Rome because of Messianic agitation. Messianic agitation. So the Jews always catch it both ways. They catch it for supposedly persecuting the Messiah and for being Messianic. You know, they can't win, but they lose. Whichever side is looking at it, you know, socks it to them. The Christian side socks it to them because they don't agree with their theological point of view. The Roman side socks it to them because they blame them for having unleashed this, what the Romans